It's a brother
and a sister.
It's a brother and a sister.
Brother and a sister. Yo, brother. Yo, sister.
Yo, brother.
Okay, we can
Yes.
start. We're all good. Thank you, guys.
Well done. Under so much pressure. And look at you.
It's never enough pressure.
Don't say that because then you will get more pressure.
Yeah,
You will feel pressurized.
the pressure is on.
I don't feel a lot of pressure anymore for a lot of things. I
What do
told you this, no?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't wear heels.
Oh,
Why
like
must I wear heels?
societal pressure.
Ah, please. And 90% of the time, I don't wear earrings.
Mm.
There was one time this Cape Town
This is not 90% of the time.
No, I wear earrings a lot on this show.
Mm.
But like walking around in the streets.
Nah, no need.
And then this international company flew me out to Cape Town to have a meeting.
Mhm.
And I don't know if I knew who they were, but they were a jewelry company. And we had such a wonderful conversation. And then afterwards they said, "But we see you do not wear jewelry." And I looked at myself. And I wear no jewelry. Like I had no earrings. I had nothing on my hands. I had nothing, no necklace. My son wasn't born yet, so I didn't have this. I was just like, yeah, you're right.
Is there a particular reason why?
I don't, even this, I'm just wearing it because it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I was strangled in a previous life.
Ah.
I do. I've really, really struggled with things around my neck, with things. I want to break free. I don't want anything constricting me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it.
Okay. I am similar, but
Different.
not for. I'm similar in the sense that I also don't wear jewelry. I want to really wear jewelry.
Oh, like more rings and stuff.
More rings, more necklaces and stuff. I just my jewelry maintenance is terrible.
Meaning?
I lose my rings too quickly. I remember that like back in high school, like I had a full set of like rings for each of the fingers, and I felt so cool for like a week, and then like by the end of the week, every single one was gone. And I don't know if like they got stolen or they just slowly started missing. It was a time I actually saw a dude wearing my ring in school, and he was so proud about it. And I was like, "Isn't that my ring?" And he literally just looked at me and he was just like, "You don't need it."
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe.
But
he's
look
right.
at his life now. So, welcome to It's a Brother and a Sister podcast. My name is Babi Muloy. I am the sister.
The when we form like Voltron, she the head.
Word.
Yeah. And I'm Khabani Muloy. I'm the pectoral muscles of this of this podcast.
Do you need me to help you open that bottle?
No. You know me. I'm a
Well done.
yes. That was
That was so close. Okay, so do you know what taxidermy is?
Is that an animal?
Well, it's something to do with animals.
Okay.
So taxidermy is when you have a pet or an animal that you love, and then when it dies, or sometimes people do it because they've shot a lion or they've shot a kudu, and then they take it to the taxidermist to stuff it, and then also they put some chemical on it so that it lives, or it not lives. It's obviously dead,
but it's immortalized.
It's mortalized. So in 1731, King Frederick of Sweden sent a taxidermist to his favorite lion that had died. Oh.
He had a pet lion.
Oh. And to this day, the lion is on display at Grissom Castle. We'll put it up for you to see right now, because this is what the lion looks like. The taxidermist forgot to tell the king he'd never seen a lion before. What is this thing called lion? You lied to me.
And it's still on display to this day.
It's still on display. Look at this picture. This picture you're going to love. How about this?
You know, that looks like
What?
the first time I drew a line.
Yes.
You know, like, oh my days, that's so sad. So that's real line parts.
These are, I don't know how this tongue has been recreated, but this, if you're my age, you'll remember Pumpkin Patch, this could have been a friendly lion on Pumpkin Patch.
No ways, man.
So I thought we'd just start with something ridiculous. Ridiculous. How you doing?
I like that. I like that positive segue into the thing. That's nice. That's
I mean, not for the
a
lion.
n-
He's dead,
yeah, but I'm sure.
and he's like really unattractive.
But I'm sure he died of natural causes.
Yeah, like being stabbed.
By who? It was the king's lion. Don't you think they would
The
have?
king could have stabbed him.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just making up history. I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened. The taxidermist had never seen a lion before. And instead of putting up his hand and saying, oh, monsieur, croissant, I've never seen a lion before, he was just like, I got your back, dude. Leave
I
it
got
with
you.
me.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Leave it with me.
And he's like, I've seen a dog before. How far could this be from a dog?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that actually looks like Clifford the Big Red Dog when I when I look at it like for long enough.
It makes me laugh so hard.
You know what always fascinates me is the fact that like most animals don't know about each other.
What do you mean about each other?
So, like a lion has never seen a polar bear.
Oh, sure.
You know,
Sure.
same way, unless humans get involved in some way.
Yeah.
But it's like the day a lion has to interact with a squid for the first time. It's like it has no recollection or history of having to deal with this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't understand how this thing has 8 arms. In fact, if it was getting attacked, it would just be like, what is happening?
Exactly.
This is insane. This is it's like a big bug. What is going like I always think about
It's fascinating.
the
eh?
idea of like we got Nat Geographics. There's no Nat Geographics for animals to
Yeah.
understand what's on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is just fascinating.
Animals unite. It's enough now.
Someone said that if all the animals decided on one day that they're gonna unite together and like attack humans
Against us. We're screwed.
I don't know.
Hang on. You can't think 100 men versus one gorilla. The men don't stand a chance. And all the animals in the world against humanity, you still think humanity can win?
It depends on like if the animals are just like brute strength one day and we're just gonna rock them. And we still have our weapons and our technology and we can like we have understood, oh, they're attacking us as a unit. Now
Yeah.
eagles are picking up gorillas so that the gorillas can like swanton bomb on us and like it's a plan. It's not gonna work.
Like for humans.
It's
Humanity's wiped out.
No, like because are the animals now just like genius as well? Like, do they have the same kind of brains as humans now? Because if that's the case, then yeah, we're screwed. But if they're still exactly the same, they just agreed that they're gonna finally attack humans, then I think we'll be fine.
Okay, animals do not unite. Stay apart from each other. You'll get ill when I lie on if you deal with a squid.
Pay attention, rhinos.
You'll
There's a reason why there's so few of y'all left. Humanity. But no. I don't know what
Not the rhinos. Oh my God.
So what do we have to talk about this week? How have you been?
I've been great.
For real?
Yes, I've been fantastic. Why does that so shock you and surprise you?
I think this winter weather has just made me feel like gloomy. Like I was even talking to Dylan just now about like how glam the energy just in winter has just been feeling.
We talked about that yesterday as we were leaving the house because we're both born in summer also. I think that has a big input, and also, you know, the placement of the moon at the time of our birth, and
Mercury's in the microwave.
On Gatorade, and we are happier in summer. That's why in overcast countries, the UK, etc., you get SADs because of the weather. It's the seasonal kind of depression that people get. But I fight that thing, I fight that thing like Kung Fu. I fight that thing. Now I'm not going down. Depression has had me by the short and curlies before. I'm fighting that thing by all means necessary. And I dared you. I said, this week, we've got to fight this thing together.
Yeah.
So we usually go to gym, 4 or 5 times a day each at our different gyms. And I said, at least, because I know we've missed a lot, at least twice this week. How you doing?
I have not been to gym as yet.
Ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing?
I've been to gym once already this
Ish.
weekend.
Ish.
This week. Yeah.
It's Wednesday. I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Do we count weekends as well?
And together. Of course, I'll let you count weekends.
Okay.
But I'm
cool.
not your run and not your basketball.
Okay.
Independent gymbasian.
Okay. Fair. Fair. I keep telling people that go to the same gym as me whenever because that's the thing that irritates me the most is when you go to gym and they're like, we haven't seen you in a while. And it's like, well, maybe I didn't want to see you. Like, fucking dumb, dude. But like, nah.
Do you remember that time we were traveling
Mm.
and we were stopped? I think we were getting food and going to the toilet, no? And it was a car, what's it? A car trip. Road trip. And then this guy came up to us, and I don't even know what he was asking. Do you remember?
He was like, can I ask you guys for a favor?
Yeah. And what did I say?
He's like, no, we're in transit. You missed it.
I was like, no, we're in transit. We're in transit. We're in transit, which has nothing to do with anything,
yeah.
right? So when they say we haven't seen you, I don't speak English. No English, not English.
No, me no speak
stupido.
No speak stupido.
Or just make up a language and then move away. This thing I have no time for. Where have you been? Right here.
See, the other week you said something to me that was like really impactful.
Oh.
Where you were saying the world doesn't deserve more of you.
Of me?
Of you specifically.
You're bringing this up on the podcast.
No, I won't say the full context of everything. It made me think about my own life.
Okay.
In the sense that I'm going into this world of. The other day I was after the run. One dude came up to me and he asked for a picture, and it wasn't like anything deep. It's starting to get more like occasional now, which is like crazy.
Yeah.
But then
because you're doing so well on this podcast, a brother and a sister podcast brought to you by Spotify, and then your comedy is blowing up, and then of course your social media is blowing up as well.
See, I don't even know.
Or maybe they just thought you were hot.
I hope so. Whatever it was, I hope it was positive. Because I remembered one of the people that were around me while I was taking the photo was just like, Mr. Celebrity. And they were saying it in like a jokey way, but like it felt a little condescending, but more like the thing that worried me more about it was the word celebrity, because I don't want to be a celebrity in the sense that I want everything that I want to do just so happens to have to be done in the public eye. Like I want to act, I want to do stand-up, and I want to perform and all of these things, but I don't care or want to know what your opinion is of me. And it's so weird that people believe that because you are a celebrity and you're in the public eye, that allows us to have free will. Like we are allowed to be liberal with how we speak about you. And I always think like that's a cruel conclusion to just come up with, because someone wants to act, someone wants to be on a TV show and pretend to be Spider-Man. And now because of that means...
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and now because of that means you can just talk about how ugly they are, or...
I thought you were going to say short.
That too. But...
I'm sorry. I'm adding fire to something that is really... I agree with what you're saying.
It's just there's a weird acceptance of public bullying that we allow in terms of our celebrities. And it's justified because it's like they signed up for this life. I always see people say that. If you signed up to be a celebrity, then you signed up for this life. And it's like, where on the contract was that?
But it's also dangerous with social media. Because if you post something on social media and you're just Nakedi from Wits University, but you're just posting, does that mean that you've signed up also for... Criticism is one thing, but for like vile comments.
Public scrutiny.
That's why I worry about your generation and the generation after, because like social media means so much to you guys. Like it's a very big part of your society, hence your societal feedback comes from what is said about you guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's really worrying because I think of the impact that it's gonna, like, you hear about artists like Robin Williams and how he took his life. And he didn't grow up in the age of social media.
Yeah.
But he was always just like thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough.
But isn't that slightly different?
It is slightly different, but I'm saying the level of the narrative that is just so freely out there on social media. I feel like we're going to lose out on a lot more artists because people feel like it's okay to just publicly say heinous things about people. And like, there's no repercussions to it. Because I was seeing, there's this new series called The Last of Us. It's based off of a video game called The Last of Us as well. And the main actor, the girl, she's not generally considered attractive.
Okay.
So because of that, the way how people are like, get this thing off my screen, and like people have been so mean to her.
Yeah.
And then it started making me think of like when Chadwick Boseman was still alive, and how the narrative around him was when he was getting skinny and weaker, because we found out later that he had a chronic ailment. But then people were like, this ain't my Black Panther. My Black Panther's strong. He got muscles. What's going on? And people were just so mean about how he looked. And then I had to start thinking about how I also added to the fire as well.
Oh, okay. What
Yeah.
did you do?
So like when Virgil Abloh was still alive, then there was two things. I used to like make fun of. He had this one album cover that he made for Pop Smoke that was horrendous. I was like,
Okay.
where did you make this, brother?
Yeah.
And we used to make fun of that a lot just as kids. And then the other one was do you remember when Black Lives Matter was happening?
Yeah, of course.
So people were donating money, and Virgil donated, he posted that he donated $50. And it's like, bro, you're the creative director of Louis Vuitton. Why are you posting that you gave $50? So then people just started making fun of Virgil by saying, hey, I'm going to keep it 2 Virgils with you. Instead of saying,
I'll
I'm
keep it 100.
Yeah, keep it 100. They're like, I'm
But that doesn't really sound like bullying. Virgil, I don't know much about Virgil, but to even post that, it sounds like he's going, you know, like for whatever reason he is. And we know he was friends with Kanye. They just like to push against the norm. I don't know. That's how I see it. Or was there something before he passed that he looked really ill and then people jumped on him?
I don't remember. I do remember like around his death, there was a lot of people saying, nah, you all must keep the same energy. The same energy when y'all were being mean about Virgil and stuff. Keep that same energy. Because y'all all going to pretend that you love Virgil, and now you're going to act fresh. Now you're going to act like you know him or he's your friend. Like, so there was a lot of that I remember. And, you know, maybe I'm also like inflating it, where I'm just like, hey, today you're making fun of them, tomorrow they're going to die. So maybe I'm making it a bit much. But I just think like...
But you've made 2 really great examples of exactly that.
But generally I do think... I always say this, but if you can be a bit nicer on the internet, try to be. Like, your opinions about people's body, face, it's especially weird when like someone will have braces. So they're literally fixing a thing that they have.
Yeah.
And people will just be like, hey, brace face, hey, chain there, you got, hey.
I'm sorry.
Hey, chain
I
gang.
haven't heard that since like 1997.
Yeah, no, chain gang, chain mail, chain, 2 chains, or like.
But so that time for me was school. So I'm always like, yeah, our kids are cruel. But you're saying into adulthood.
Yeah, no.
Because of the internet.
Yeah.
And your anonymity on the internet, you feel like you can just say anything.
Yes, 1,000.
Brace face is terrible. Don't do that to people.
You know, like someone will like Lizzo's losing a bunch of weight now.
Yeah.
And like she's gonna get thinner, and watch the narrative around her is gonna be like, I liked you when you were big. Do you
But it
see,
already is.
you know, it's like with
People,
Adele.
I was about to say
Yeah,
Adele.
like people are just, and then they're gonna say cruel things like, you see, Ozempic or whatever. And it's like the level of like, no one is ever satisfied. No one's ever happy. If you are thin, people are like, you're supposed to be fat. If you're fat, they're like, hey, you look like a bone. Like on every single side of this thing, people have some bullshit to just ngena, where it's like, bro, shut up. Like, stop commenting on people's bodies firstly, unless they like really deserve it.
And when would they really deserve it? Khabane Moloi.
If they were causing cac. Like Trump.
Oh, shame.
See, Trump seems like a guy I can publicly bully all the time. Even Hitler. Like,
Sure.
yeah, like Hitler doesn't seem like he had body image issues. So that's something that I could like be like, yeah, I tease the shit out of him. He's mustache, everything about him. Stuff like that.
I wonder if there's a list and how long that list lasts for. Because I would like to go visit America again. But I know at the moment I'm not, Malema and I are not getting visas.
I think you'll be fine.
You think so?
I think you'll be
Have
fine.
you heard the things I've said?
But have you heard the things most people have said? Even like, and also you've never said something about like, I want to just bomb America.
No,
Like it's always just been like fair critiques on Donald Trump.
Like he looks like a Dorito.
Yeah, like generally,
the orange man.
You'll be fine.
Tantrum like a baby.
We still like Obama. We still like.
I love Obama.
You didn't say anything bad about Joe Biden except that he's
and
old.
you know, Obama also wasn't perfect. Eh? Obama did some things here in Africa.
None of them are.
That were terrible.
Yes.
You know, Gaddafi, Libya. I don't know why we sweep that under the carpet a little bit, but we do.
No, we definitely do. It's not a little bit. It's sad, actually.
It actually is sad.
And I think there's levels of like, you know, there's so much leniency that we give to certain people that look like us because it's like our first time being put in certain positions. So then we're always just like, no, like we don't critique our own. But it's like he's not your own. That's the president of the United States. There's a level of, even with Cyril, sometimes I feel like
who?
Cupcake.
Oh yes,
there
yes.
we go.
Can I tell you? Did you? Okay, so after that whole meeting, which was like outrageous for its own reasons, but I thought he held his own in the actual interaction with Trump, right?
Mhm.
So, in that moment, he was Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yeah.
Then they asked him to have a press conference afterwards. That kind of was a press conference, but afterwards, the press just wanted a one-on-one with him, right?
Mhm.
So whoever introduces him says, President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa.
Mm.
And he gets up, and something must have dropped from his lap when he got up. And the man said, oopsie. Oopsie, oopsie. He said, oopsie.
Grown ass man.
And in that moment, he was Cupcake. Do you understand? There's Ramaphosa and there's Cupcake. And Cupcake Waratea, he's like a lovable being. Oopsie. Oh, come on, give me a hug.
But like, it's one of those things that's like, bro, like, and then you see other presidents and ministers, like they're wearing bulletproof jackets all the time.
Yes.
Because they know like the things they say and do, they're ready to get assassinated. And then I just see, every time I see Cyril Ramaphosa, he always looks like he's about to fall. Like, he just doesn't look like he has good balance.
Really?
Just generally, I'm always like, I'm more worried about Cyril than when Joe Biden was actually falling all the time.
Yeah, but lots of people are saying that Trump is doing a thing called sunsetting.
What's that?
So
It's like you get more and more
dementia.
Sorry.
All the colors of the sunset on your face. When you are going through dementia,
Yeah.
dementia patients at a certain time of day might start getting agitated or anxious because they don't quite know where they are. They don't quite know what's happening next. And then there's a certain set of behaviors that they display that in many, many instances in public, they say Trump displays. So it's not like we're just watching the elderly elder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, like, I don't know how it's ever going to change. But generally, when I think about like presidency and politics and stuff, like, when are we going to start having young presidents?
Is it Traore or Traore? Burkina Faso.
Oh, I forget his name now.
Yeah.
I actually wrote it down. Give me just 1 sec.
From the outside looking in, without having scratched much deeper than the surface, because deeper than the surface, there was a coup involved, and there's
Ibrahim Traore.
Traore.
Yeah, Ibrahim Traore.
And so read further there, because he was part of an army that kind of overthrew the previous regime, and he's young. He can't be older than 40,
He's 37.
Yeah, there we go. He's young. And so lots of people talk about at some point a coup is necessary. At some point, a little bit of now I've forgotten the word. A dictatorship.
Yes.
Sometimes a little bit of dictatorship is necessary just to steer the boat.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I believe that, but that's what they're saying about this young man.
Yeah, I think he actually said it as well. He says, no great change, no great everlasting change has ever come from democracy. So, and I'm not quoting him. I'm paraphrasing because I might have not said that right. But Ibrahim Traore is a Burkinabe military officer and politician who has served as the interim president of Burkina Faso since 2022. Traore took control of Burkina Faso in September of 2022.
Took control, meaning there were no lines to vote. There was no voting.
Yeah.
There was no campaigning. There were no skippers or packs. Sadi Omu Lipapa. There was none of that.
He said grapes.
Yeah.
He betched everybody grapes. The whole country. He says Burkina Faso is mine. You'll see to finish. If you don't like that, see yourself out.
And so far,
he's been trying to pretty much create an uprising in Africa where he's trying to make alliances and take Africa's independency back.
Yeah.
Which I 100% agree with. I just don't know how long this brother's going to last.
Do you think someone will come for Traore?
They've already had multiple assassination attempts. I think he's on.
He just needs to duck like
he's
this.
on. He's on assassination attempt like 16 or something. They even apparently they even tried to get one of his closest bodyguards to try and assassinate him, but his bodyguard was like, "Nah, I believe in the cause." So to to Mr. Traore, you see, cupcake, Mr. Traore.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a leadership thing,
man,
which is unfortunate because it is on one hand aesthetic.
Yes.
Right? So I look at Traore and I'm immediately afraid of him. And I immediately am going to listen to him and think about what he has to say and probably agree. But other leaders, and note, I'm just saying other leaders. You don't know which leaders I'm talking about. You kind of go, okay, Shab, we'll listen. Okay. Yeah.
Isn't it so interesting how... So Trump and Traore are both kind of crazy in their own respective regards. In the sense that, like...
Khabane Molo's opinion has nothing to do with Bobby Molo's opinion, because me, I still want to go to Disneyland.
In the sense that creating... like so much impact, so much change in your country
so quickly,
within so little of time.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an insane thing to want to even achieve. Never mind actually being able to achieve it.
I mean, I wonder if we got like a psychologist to look into both of their ways of thinking.
Mm.
Because you must have a level of elevated self-confidence
Yeah.
to just make the plans, do what you want, change what you think is important, right?
Mm.
Which may be similar, but they're going on different paths. So here we're looking at Africa for Africa, and here we're just looking at nutsness.
But
So he signed that paper straws are no longer allowed.
Who, Trump?
Yes. How is that important?
But I mean, Traore signed that people aren't allowed to have those white powdered wigs in court anymore.
But that is important because that's decolonization.
1000%. But like, I guess it's one of those things.
This is straws.
So this is why, and I agree with you. I
Okay.
think the wig's gotta go. Leave the weave, you know? I believe we gotta leave the weave, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think of a Dr. Umar rhyme that I could quickly just hit so that people could know. But generally, yes, those powdered wigs that they wear in court, it's a symbol of colonization and all of that. But remember, these are third world problems. Colonization is considered a third world problem.
We're not called third world anymore. We're called global south. But it's the same thing, yes.
Whereas
straws
are a first world problem. So like the people that are voting for Trump or whatever, their actual issue is, I'm sick of these plastic straws. These paper straws are making me... The same way we are mad about colonization, they're mad about straws, which is really sad and messed up. But I always have to think, like, what are people's priorities and issues? Like,
okay, fair enough.
Which is ridiculous and sad to even imagine that we are all on the same world, and some people's issues is the texture of the straw, and ours is literally just having self-respect and having self-worth because of
I thought
years
the
years
parallel you were going to make is that they're both gung-ho for their nations.
That's what I was also going to say, but then you brought up that specific example, so I was just...
The straws.
Yeah, the straws in there.
Because I can't get over it.
Yeah.
It is literally the most daft thing I've ever watched.
I wonder what Traore's opinions are on trans people.
See, now we're going to get into a little bit of challenge. But he'll surprise you. He's 37. He'll surprise you.
Yeah, it'll be like...
He'll surprise you. Have you heard of Italian brain rot?
Italian brain rot? I've heard of brain rots and I've heard of Italians, but not them together.
So everybody is talking about Gen Zs and Gen Z this and Gen Z the way you think and Gen Z's openness and Gen Z. I think we've got to the point now that you can go and consult a doctor who is a Gen Z. You can have an attorney who is a Gen Z.
For sure, definitely.
So, like, yes, Gen Z is still important to talk about, like millennials still important to talk about, but we must now start thinking about the new generation.
I think the oldest Gen Zs are like 29, 28.
Right?
They're about to start turning 30. They're about to get into their 30s now.
So that's a grown person.
Yes, 1000%.
Right. Now the alphas, I don't think anyone's necessarily thinking about the alphas yet. The smallies, the ones born after 2012.
After World Cup for sure.
Yeah, definitely after World Cup. Maybe a little bit later.
I'm not sure exactly when.
So that's the next generation after Z. And they've got this thing called Italian brain rot. So I'm just telling you, if you have a Gen Alpha in your house and they say to you, do you know tralalelo, tralala?
That doesn't even make me feel...
How don't you know tralalelo, tralala?
That doesn't even make me feel old. It makes me like... You know when like you're missing out on something, but you're glad you're missing out on something?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
So we'll put the picture up of tralalelo, tralala.
What is it? Oh, I've seen this. It's a shark with shoes. Fire.
No, it's tralalelo, tralala. What about bombardiro, crocodilo?
That definitely has something to do with a crocodile.
Okay, but why is he bombardiro?
because he's Mr. Bombastic.
It's only fantastic. Mr. Bombastic.
Never. I don't know.
Because he's going to drop bombs.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Kind of, they're also gonna be in this world of AI. You know, like I was
This
scared.
is all AI, by the way.
I was scared like AI was gonna introduce like this world of like weird, somewhat, perverted shit. And now it's like kind of the most messed up thing you can think of.
You can create on AI.
Yeah, but you forget the most messed up thing you can think of isn't even the closest thing that someone else can think of.
Particularly kids.
Kids, whatever. But it's like, even, okay, for example, hearing about the Diddy trial as of late and just the wild things that he was doing. I didn't think the freak-offs were that messed up until I started. Like, my imagination isn't even close to Diddy's reality.
Yeah.
Messed up
I
reality.
get you.
So it's like where I think of like the AI stuff, like when AI was coming out, and then I was just thinking like, oh, it's crazy. I hope like people don't mess up, like steal art and stuff. I hope that's the most immoral thing I can think of. And then Taylor Swift was trending, and I was wondering why she was trending, and it's because people were AIing her getting gangbanged.
I remember.
And I was like, yo,
yeah,
that's insane. And then I was like, dang, so people can AI anything.
Well, Bombardiro Crocodilo is very big in the young generations. It's a synthesis of a bomber and a crocodile.
Not bomber jacket.
It's a bomber crocodile.
Yeah.
U.S. military World War II B-17 and B-25 with a crocodile. Okay.
People have too much time, man.
No. This next one's the best. Actually, you say it.
I've seen this.
Just say what it's called.
I've seen this. Tung, 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 tung. Sahur.
Yeah. And you can't say it tung, 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 tung. You have to say it with confidence.
Tung, 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 tung. Like.
Tung, 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 sahur.
I guess this is how y'all felt when like we were whipping and naining.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Every generation's gonna have a lot to say about the one before and the one coming.
Yeah, but Man's Not Hot was fun.
Man's Not Hot was the most delicious song I've ever heard. Take off your jacket.
I'm trying to think we had Gangnam Style, I guess. We had Harlem Shake. That actually feels more like a millennial.
It does feel millennial. And Man's Not Hot also feels millennial.
Oh, that's definitely not true.
That guy was not.
That came out in like 2019.
So how did I know about it?
Because you still wanted to. Never mind. You still wanted to be young at heart.
And then Lirila is the last one I'm going to tell you about.
That definitely has something to do with Lira the singer. Am I wrong? Am I far off?
Yes. Oh. It is pretty much a cactus wearing sandals. A cactus that looks like an elephant is Lirila.
Let me see.
Look. Lirila.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
This is actually very cool.
Really?
This looks like a Salvador Dali painting. Like a very surrealist. Like with the clock in the background and stuff. I can't even lie. If someone painted this, I would have been like, I'm not mad at this.
That's beautiful.
I'm actually not mad at this at all.
So painted, recreated.
Nah.
Anyway, so the moms and the dads of Gen Alphas, that is what they're talking about when they say tung 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 tung. I can't remember the last word. And lirila, and etc. and so forth. It's called Italian brain rot. Now, next week, I will bring you some words that are also very important for you to know. Like, what's this one?
Oh,
not an alpha. It's a.
I was gonna say Giga Chad, but
but a Chad. A Chad is a guy who's very muscular.
Sigma.
So, a Chad is a guy, right, who's very muscular and he's the one all the girls want.
Mhm.
I think that's the thing. So you
Yeah.
want to be more like a Chad. So when
should.
your alpha says, I just want to be more like a Chad, man, that's what they're saying. So they're going to work out, they're going to try and get the girls. And then Sigma
Mm.
is like what we would call alpha. So like an alpha man is the lion. He stands above the rest. He's actually the tiger. He's the man. But now they call it Sigma
I guess.
for some reason.
Yeah, but I guess it's
I'll
also,
make a list of that for next time so that you understand that it's not just the word. You understand what it means behind it, because it means sometimes around respectability or not respectability towards women and themselves. Because a lot of Red Pill Society, a lot of these guys on the internet, which now is just becoming like part of chit chat.
yeah.
I was telling you that girls won't like you unless you look like this. And they're telling you that when you hear these words as parents, you've got to understand the deeper meaning of them. That's all.
Yeah. You know, last night I was having a conversation with my partner about just like the narratives that guys have generally on the internet. And a lot of the memes are just like, that I see is like, it's to degrade women's intelligence in the sense that,
course.
like, look how illogical they are. They
Mm.
have no logic. They're just emotional creatures that can't think and whatever. And I keep thinking, like, bro, like, okay, I'll humor you for a second. And like with that logic alone, if women were as logical as you would want them to be, they should kill us.
Oh.
Or like at least they should all be carrying guns, you know, and weapons and making sure that they're safe. Cause they should never ever, the male loneliness epidemic should be the last thing on women's mind or care about. They
But
should
does
actually.
anybody ask why the male loneliness epidemic is the way it is?
We scared the hoes away, bro. With all those funny memes, bro. Now look, no hands at the club, dog. It's just you and your niggas. But I was realizing.
That's factual, just by the way.
I was realizing it last night. Yo, do you know which genre that I actually feel really bad for? And I don't think they've carved themselves at all. I went to a hip hop party the other week. Niggas. And I was like, this makes perfect sense. The lyrics in hip hop do not advocate for women. And I don't think female hip hop is male hip hop. I think that's a different genre in itself, because the demographics of those two things are completely different.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys that listen to Cardi and Kanye
Yeah.
that actually advocate for Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Like,
And Kanye.
like, there's more people that listen to, like, a Cardi B fan
Yes.
could listen to a Kanye song,
Sure.
but not a lot of Kanye
Fans.
core fans listen to Cardi B.
Correct.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Of course.
So it's that thing of, there's a divide even within hip hop,
Of course.
where it's like the Doechii and Megan Thee Stallion fans can go stand on that side.
Yeah.
Because Doja Cat and all of those. Ugh.
And what's always interesting to me, that's happened, that gens do, is that they will degrade, yes, your intelligence, but they'll say things that are girly or dumb. Right? So if you think about the industry of makeup and cosmetics, it's a multi-billion-dollar, if not trillion-dollar industry. But you're going to tell me that making and purchasing makeup is dumb because you don't use makeup. Who's illogical then?
that one I don't even know how to get into. I just think if everything you think is dumb is on the other team's side, one day people are going to question the things that you enjoy and think that's dumb. Like, it's like, bro, how, like, I understand you think rom-coms are stupid. Nah, fair. That's okay.
How do you not understand the makeup example?
No, because
it falls right into Cardi B. It falls right into rom-coms.
Because that one, it's not that I don't understand it. It's that the argument around why makeup is dumb is because it's preying on women's insecurities. So then men will use that as a thing of
I've
like,
never ever heard a man say this industry is preying on women's insecurities and therefore must be shut down. I've never heard a man say that.
I guess
And
when-
I've heard many men trying to give women insecurities so that they dim their light so that they can be more easily manipulated. But I've never heard a man be like, oh, these short skirts preying on women's insecurity. I've never heard that. But I get what you're saying.
That's why I don't wanna go too deep into makeup, because the makeup, I think maybe it's also because I'm conflicted about makeup, where I'm happy that women can do whatever they want with their bodies, but then there's also like, when I hear some of the narratives around makeup, it just makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I don't want to speak on it, because I feel like if I do, it's gonna come across as, there goes another man saying whatever, and it's like, no, it's deeper than that. It's the same feeling that I have with like, it's not a secret. I don't like wigs, parted wigs for court and silky wigs at the club. Like, I don't like them, point blank, period. And I don't like them because of my own, like, there's my internal Pan-Africanness that's just like, it feels like there's an erasure of blackness when I see that. And it makes me uncomfortable. But when I say these things, it comes across as, you just don't like it when women can do what they want to do. And then I'm just like, hey, let's not mix.
It just depends. It depends. It just depends.
Because I don't want to tell people not to have it. But if you ask me what my opinion of it is, and I tell you I don't like it, and then immediately it comes across as I'm trying to control, then I'm like, let me rather than not say anything at all.
If you say you don't like wigs, but your partner wants to wear a wig, and they want to wear a wig, you know that you cannot tell them, do not wear a wig.
1000%.
But you can easily just say, hey, babes, you know what?
I ain't feeling
You
it.
do you. I love you the way you are and the way you ain't, and just do what you need to do. It's fine.
Yeah, 1000%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I think that's where like the narrative on both sides, it needs to be an understanding on both sides.
Correct.
Where guys need to understand how to say these things, but then I think there's also going to be a bit more of like a leniency on women's side, where it's like, if you want your guys to be more honest, you also can't
shut them down every time they're honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, let's meet each other halfway, because if there's the expectation of a perfect response for everything,
correct,
and that's the only way he's allowed to,
nowhere,
then he's not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Why bother saying anything if it's always going to be you could have said it like this? Then it's like, okay.
But guys do that too. Let's be 100%
100%.
honest.
Sorry, I wasn't.
All of us need to do it. I'm very fair. I'm very.
Let's wrap it up. Yeah.
Have I not been fair in your discussions about your partner and you and things? And have I not been fair?
No, you're 100% fair.
Is there a gun to your head right now? Okay, maybe I'm not fair. Maybe I think I'm fair and I'm not fair.
You're very fair.
Because I talk about the fact that as men and women, especially black men and black women, we need each other and we need to find each other. And like our connection and love and respect for each other has been lost. So someone's going to come across aggressive.
Yeah.
And we've got to give each other grace.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we've got to, like, the statistics about who's likely to kill you is your intimate partner.
Yeah.
So you've got to be, it's like a game. You've got to be very cautious about what's going on, what's being said. Figure it out. Is this coming from a loving place? Is that really just their preference? Or are they trying to control you?
Yeah.
Because if they control that, then they can control where you put your money. Then they can control, you know, where you go. They can lock you up in a bedroom. They can eventually, you know, unalive you. So it's, unfortunately, Khabs, that's all linked together.
100%. It terrifies me, because then it's like, man, let's just give up. You
I
know?
don't think so.
No,
I think,
I'm saying in terms of stats, right? So it's not done yet, but
What?
I'm working on this joke about stats generally, where when I go into any room, I say, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening, brothers and sisters, and pedophiles." I don't want to claim you guys as my brothers or my sisters, and then it makes the room uncomfortable. But then I say, this room is a 50-seat room. They say out of every 9 people, there's 1 pedophile. So I'm not good
You
at
have at
maths, but there's
least
at least 4 of
5.
y'all
Yeah,
niggas
4, yeah.
that look back when you passing a school, you know?
Yeah.
And it's that thing of like, and make it as uncomfortable as possible. And really, like, statistically, there's 50 people in this room.
Yeah. And the stats say.
How many couples are in this room?
Yeah.
Statistically, one of your couples is going to be messed up.
Yeah.
And not because you guys had an argument, but because the guy got really aggressive.
Right.
Statistically, and you can keep going about these things. Like, statistically, one of every of these people have AIDS or whatever. It's like,
So what's wrong?
so I'm saying, when you look at stats and facts alone, like, there's a level of, and this I'm saying mainly to guys, because guys are always like, women should be more logical, women should be more factual, and like the facts. And it's like, based off of facts, they should have given up on us a long time ago. They shouldn't even want to be around us. Never mind even entertaining relationships with us and stuff. Where it's like, the humanity of it all, of like, they're still trying. The fact that they're even around us. It's like, bro, we need to see each other. Where in your relationship, when you hear your boyfriend say he doesn't like a thing, and if you immediately take it as he's trying to control me, it's like, oof, that's dangerous, because then it kind of takes if you're basing it off of facts and stats or whatever, yes, he is 100% trying to control you. But if you base it off of the person that you're dealing with and that you love, and you know he just doesn't like that
But
thing
how
or
do you
whatever.
know? He's
But
not
you
trying
see,
to control
that's what
you.
I'm saying. I'm saying you don't know.
You don't know.
Based off of the facts, we should always be ready for like 7 pedophiles and 7 killers and all of these things, which is so uncomfortable. It's hard to live like that.
No, I'm finding it very simple. I'm having the easiest, most delightful time.
It's one of those.
I'm not even joking. Like, I'm not willing to take a risk.
It's one of those things that's like, when I look at it, because like, you being a woman in South Africa, we should have
A
left.
beautiful woman in South Africa. Carry on.
You should have left a long time ago.
Where would I go?
But I'm not saying you can, but I'm saying,
No, but let's think about it. Where would I go?
that's safer than here.
Yeah.
I guess. Anyway.
Because Trump doesn't want me. Trump doesn't want the blacks.
But
The blacks are being killed. So we're not going there.
I guess the European countries.
So should I
Not
go
to say-
to
not to
the
say-
head boy and girl of colonialism to the UK? Or should I go to where they used to throw bananas at Balotelli on the field to France?
By the way, I'm not saying
Italy.
I'm not saying it's good anywhere, but I'm just saying, like, based off of stats, it sounds like it's better than here.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's why I am here. I love it here. I don't think that there's any place better than here, despite the stats, unfortunately. But it does come a time where you just like,
It's over.
I give up.
Yeah, I was thinking about all of the stuff. I was just thinking about a lot lately because of the whole. I was following up on the Justice for Kwekwe thing.
Yeah.
And just seeing like that guy is still not in jail. In fact, I think they've like left the case completely.
Yes.
And it like just really is like demoralizing and sad, because the whole country said, hey, if y'all want to do the right thing, this is the thing that y'all gotta do. And it's like, whew.
I agree 100%. I'm heated as the rest of the country is. But then we've also got to understand the law.
Yeah.
Which is its own motherfucker in its own way, ne?
Mm.
Because what they're saying is, within the first 24 hours, you cannot wash yourself because you've got to have the DNA of the perpetrator on you. Then you go to the cop shop, police station. You get a J88 form. You go to the hospital. They know how to fill in that form. You go back to the cop shop and you open your case. Right. Now, that form will have all of the biological information that is still on your body as a result. And then there's going to be lots of other things that are going to happen, including the other side will say they didn't do it, or they just slipped and fell, or they just were squirmeling and then they touched you, or whatever the case is, right? Because people say things. And then you've got to go through that process. Now, this was a very small girl. She's probably 7 now. She was 6 then when it happened, I believe, something like that. And she didn't tell her mom until such a long time later, until her mom noticed symptoms of she's in pain when she goes to the loo. She's, so then she checked. And it's not to blame the mom or the little girl, but that 24 hours, that span of time where any sort of biological stuff from the perpetrator was gone. And obviously with Tlhapisangwana every day. So it's gone. And it's so, so, so sad. I wish there was another way. I really wish there was another way. It's so sad. And when a lawyer explains it to you and you're like, oh, it's so sad. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the girl Ulerato who got picked up in a VW Polo to go on a date with this man, quote unquote John?
Yeah.
And they found her body between Alexandra and Q.
You know the thing that made me the most mad about that?
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
Yeah.
the taking of her life. Like, fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Like, I hope he gets buried under the prison. But the thing that really also just like messed me up from men and women was the narrative on social media.
Which was?
About, you see, this is why I don't go on dates with I don't go into the car of the person's date. Like, people were trying to nitpick what she did wrong in the situation. Wow. Someone commented, yeah, you see what happens when you go date for money or whatever. It's like, somebody died, bro.
We have no compassion for each other.
And that's like, and then the narrative is always, what if it was your own daughter? And it's like, bro, shut up. Like,
do you see why I'm having a nice life?
Are you not hearing yourself? Like, the only time you can feel compassion is if it's your own daughter or mom or sister. And it's like, see yourself, bro.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's really, really sad. And I talk about it every day. It's really sad. Yeah. And until Mqunu and the rest of his gang are able to give us some solutions from the SAPS, I don't even know. Like, I'm just a walking question mark. These are things that you should not feel guilty for spending your money on. All right?
Oh.
So if you got a little bit of savings, if you've got a little bit of income, these are things you should spend your money on that you shouldn't feel guilty about. Mm-hmm. Because they say money can't buy happiness. They are lying. Money can buy happiness.
You ever bought a PlayStation?
I don't even know if it's that big sometimes.
Someone made a joke on the internet. They were like, if your guy is selling his PlayStation, it's the equivalent of a company declaring bankruptcy.
Oh,
and
shame. But if he's going from a 4 to a 5?
Oh, that's a different story.
Okay. But number 1, there's something magical about singing the lyrics of your favorite artist with thousands of strangers. It's actually scientific because our brains release oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. Mm-hmm. So never feel guilty for buying a ticket to see live music.
Okay.
Right?
What if you buy the ticket on lay-by?
That's fine.
Okay.
Actually, it's not, but just buy the ticket. Because lay-by, you're going to incur so much costs in the end. It'll be like buying 6 tickets. Mm.
As you were? So
yeah, I just feel like
it's so negative.
No, just hold my hand. I think it'll be better for our relationship. Right. And then novel experiences. So our bodies go through all the same normal crap every day. You wake up, you brush your teeth, you go to work, you drive to work, you probably drive the same route, or you're on the same taxi. It's all the same.
Yes.
So if you can have an experience that's out of the ordinary, then spend some money on it. It's
Novel
okay.
experiences.
So I know that they're open at what we used to call the planetarium.
Yeah.
And now it's called the Dome.
Oh.
Because something in Johannesburg at some point needs to be called a dome. So it's the Dome. And we're going to have a novel experience of just looking at the stars.
Yes.
Which I think is exciting. And then if you can purchase something that saves you time, that is not money
Badly
wasted.
spent,
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know, time-saving, strategical things, things that you dread. If you can maybe subscribe to one of the lower-cost AI things that can send you emails for you or whatever it is. Even having someone who's going to help you to clean up in your home so that you don't waste time looking for this, looking for that. It's money well spent. Activities that boost your relationships.
Okay.
And I think that that's really cool.
Yeah,
Your
no.
relationship with mommy, your relationship, our relationship, your relationship with your nephews, you know, anything that can boost your relationship. And then being generous to others in whatever small way you can. It's never money wasted. Now, if
Unless
this
it's
person is trying to scam you for your whole pension fund, say no.
Unless it's on the gillies at the club, dog. Leave them alone. You know, little sister Mbali told me about a story about her friend. So her friend had a friend, and this guy was blind, but he was like per year he gets more and more blind, and so he's slowly losing his vision until he's going completely blind. And he went to the club, and there were these two girls that were hanging out with him, having a good time. Cool. And he did this thing where he's like, let me feel your face so I know you're hot. Beautiful. You also beautiful. Sharp. And then now they're hanging out, and at the end of the night, they're buying bottles for him the whole night, just buying as many bottles for him, treating him like a king.
They're buying him bottles.
They're buying him bottles. So he's like, okay, thank you guys, appreciate it. He's like, yeah, anytime, you know, we love taking people like you out. Like, you must have a good time. He goes home, cool, Ubers, goes to sleep. Next day, he's got bills to pay, and none of his bills are going through. They're calling him, hey, why are you not paying for your bills? He's like, what? So he calls his homie to come check his accounts and stuff. And then he's like, brother, it says that you spent like 20K at Konka last night, my brother. What happened? It's like, those 2 timing, no good. Jigaboo. And he was like,
disability abusing.
Yeah. He never saw it coming.
What?
And just like that joke, it's time to stop the episode. It really had us blindsided.
Have you ever done a speech or had someone do a speech or sing a song and they just go too long? Like it's enough. It's enough now. You're just like, can we just take the thank you very much? And they just like,
we don't need the last verse. It's fine. It's fine. We get this. You get what you're singing.
Eventually, you run to the front of house and you're like, just glue my mic. Yeah. It's never happened to me.
No. We know when to leave the party.
Yeah.
Early.
Bye.